How is all? I've been running around like a blue arse fly for the last couple of weeks around the country, and I haven't had a chance to make a video for this channel, but I do now. I do now. So I hope you're all well. This new year has been off to a mad start, as you probably already noticed. I'm sure many of you are having incredible dreaming right now. There's a strange disturbance in the flux of reality, and that's okay. It's what happens. This is a settling down thing. It's just an adjustment. It's nothing. It's nothing intense. Synchronicity should also be off the scale at the moment for you, and this is what I said. We're entering a period now of 11 moons, 11 to 13 moons of extreme change that will shift the reality. When I say reality, you're not going to wake up, all your happiness and all your dreams, but I can guarantee you, within 11 months, you'll be in a very different place where you are now. And the idea of this transition period is to adapt to that change, and so you set yourself up for an easier ride in life from that point forward. And this is why I don't. What happens to me happens to everyone. Okay, I'm not that special, but this is why I don't do things. I've never charged anyone for a tarot reading, and that's what I want to talk about today. And it's or anything like that. It's because it's to me it's just part of a conversational element. Now, in terms of that, in terms of this and the other, I do for some reason I've been thinking a lot about a tarot card lately. Now, the tarot card in the tarot is a greatly misunderstood card. It's people, along with the death card, it's one of the ones that people shudder. The Three of Swords, which is actually a worse card than this. They shudder when they see it, thinking that it's a portent of doom and things like that. It's not really. It's an adjustment or a correction to your psychic attenuation, and I'll talk about this. But it also represents other things like male masculinity, and so on. I'll talk about that in the firstly. Do you remember the ridiculous Trump binding spell that was done a few times in recent years? And I have a video somewhere down. I think it's called something like "Sorcery and Stupidity Don't Mix," and I show a segment of a video where people are throwing uh, ta- the Tower Tarot card into a fire to bind Trump. Now, it's just ridiculous because it was in so many levels it was wrong. They were meditating upon the wrong focus, the wrong imagery. They threw the card in upright, which would suggest that if their hex worked against Trump, things would be even better for him after it, because it was a necessary destruction, and in many ways it was. All the now I'm look don't I'm not a Trump or Republican or anything like that. I'm not even political. I'm talking in terms of the effects such things are upon the psychic weather. Take it from that point on. Now, so the Tower card was and there was all these like emasculated men going, "Oh, I bind you, Trump," and this is very deep. This was a very powerful image at the time, and because Trump makes a lot of men feel emasculated. Now, by emasculated, it's you see when you hate someone, especially someone who did you no personal harm, what you're doing is you're filling in a charisma vacuum within your psychic attenuation that you cannot manage to fill yourself. So therefore, if you're envious of someone who has lots of money or has a better looking boyfriend than you or has a happy life, it's not because they've done anything to you. It's because that psychic vacuum within you, in order to attain that which you covet, you cannot attenuate, because and you building up your charisma to point zero is basically all you can do. Now, at the same time, there is a way around that. What you do is you discard the hatred and the envy and the vindication and sorry, the vindictiveness, and then You give yourself a psychic space in which to, you see, it's all psychology at the end of the day, a lot of it. A psychic space in which, this is why Jung was right, a psychic space, and mythology, a psychic space for which you to expand the attenuation of your nervous system in order for you to become more able to negotiate the psychic state within society. And that makes you less prone to envy, jealousy, hatreds, and this kind of thing. Now, the thing with the tower is that it's such a destructive image. It's such a painful image, but so is childbirth. Now, if Crowley, his theory of it was that the card had such was, and it's a great one, that it represented so much energy that it could not hold that amount of energy. And this is what happens when you have, you see people like, when you see celebrities having breakdowns, like say, do you remember what was her name about 10 years ago? Britney Spears, and they were all saying, "Oh, it's an MK Ultra breakdown," and no, that was her. She had the one with the poor woman had a breakdown. Now, that was because she was too young and carrying too much pressure, and her tower collapsed, and that's okay because that's what had to happen. This is not the same thing as self-destruction or, you know, karma kicking you up the ass or anything like that. A lot of the things pertaining to this on a personal level are self-manufactured. And they're self-manufactured for a reason, because you have to understand your own psychic limits. Now, the tarot card is also a card that is pertaining to magical works and proficiency in terms of a value, and the whole tarot is as well. So, for instance, if you are, the best way to monitor an operation is by looking at tarot cards. I've got three of them here of the tower. It's tomorrow just to monitor the tarot decks. They allow you to gauge your psychic internal state as the operation progresses. If it fails, it doesn't matter. There's gnosis within that as well, and this is an important thing as well. Now, the thing is, the tower must fall, is what I've been saying that for years. I think it was even became something of a mantra of mine in 2012 when I made Beyond the Babylon Mind. And the tower has to fall in order for reconstruction to happen. No one gets a life of perfection or anything like that, because on some level there is, you see, we're still mortals. And when a mortal attempts to assume the status of a god, it's carrying through them, whether it's a big major star or a celebrity or a powerful leader, they're carrying so much energy through them that one mortal man's body or woman's body cannot remain structurally sound when the amount of energy traveling through it is greater than that of the ability to maintain integrity. I'm talking about structural integrity. So I'll give you an example. The spinal cord is also represented by the tower. The spinal cord is the the main conduit of the central nervous system. The central nervous system is the primary element within the magical practice. Hence why people have wands in their hands. This is to project the nervous system beyond. I showed a video a while ago where a horseshoe was used in Irish folk magic for that purpose, like an antenna. Our bioelectrical systems are not that different than an analog radio transmitter receiver. The attenuation of the spinal cord is so important that people don't monitor their spinal cord. For instance, I've seen it's been known for years, but spinal fluid floods the brain during sleep, and this is the tuning in to another reality that that brings you into the dream world, which is a different reality than this one. This is just one manifestation of what our consciousness ratifies out of the fabric of the universe. The spinal cord is the ultimate magic wand, because ultimately that is the point from which your charisma transmits out through your body. And the bigger you create, the more you can specifically attenuate your psychic energy in tandem with the ability to project beyond your body. It gives you the charismatic envelope that then creates you what you want easier. The greatest magician in the world won't get everything they want, but they will find it easier to, this is how we know Crowley was a true magician, because his charismatic power exists right through to the present. Where someone like, there's lots of them, like like someone like in his own life didn't have particularly great charisma, would have been Austin Osman Spare, but he had channeled that into his beautiful artwork. And his artwork has been the charismatic attenuator for us to recognize his power over the decades. Same with Lovecraft. If you would have met Lovecraft in the street, he wouldn't have been so particularly exciting, but his writing and his charismatic attenuation has been fortified through the mystique and the study and the psychic attention placed upon his work. And it's easier when you're dead. In fact, it's probably better to be dead and have fame than to be alive and have great fame. And so it's the same thing. You're creating a post-mortal uh, structure that will maintain your charisma in the centuries to come. So it's actually better, someone like Lovecraft, who died of cancer at an early age. He knew by his diary, writing down there in Brown Hospital, that he had beaten the system by becoming his own, you know, fabricator of his psychic state. This is why he kept the diary when he was dying of cancer, meticulously noting the destruction of his own body. He knew he was about to attain godhood. He'd already attained godhood by not dying inside Butler Hospital, a psychiatric hospital, as his family had went before. So the tower, he had his tower moment at an early age with the death of his father, then his beloved uncle, and then his mother, his grandfather, Whipple, and then his mother. Now, so he got that out of the way, and that allowed him to flourish as an artist. And we see this a lot in a lot of this kind of thing. Now, the transitional elements of this card are as important and as vital as the cause and effect, because as you can monitor a system as it's deteriorating, you're much likely to get out of it quickly. So, for instance, the tower is falling. This is happening now. You, rather than screaming, "Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!" you actually have a situation where you can pull yourself out of it, a means of escape. So the tarot card is ultimately a refreshing element, and to impose your will upon the tower card, very important, is to subject yourself to the archetypes contained within the symbolism. So therefore, if you're a man and you use this to hex Trump, who never did you any personal harm, you almost certainly you are emasculated. If you are seeking fame and fortune and you hex someone who already has it, you are not able to create enough energy through your craft or through your art in order to generate a tower. You'll suddenly generate it real quickly. Think of it as a wire with too much ampage going through it, and you would take on too much load on a psychic level, and it will explode and blow apart. And again, it brings you back to it brings you back to base. And then, if you have any wisdom, and then also if you are successful in your life, and you're taking on more than you. And by success, I'm not talking about millions or anything like that. I'm talking about like you could have a happy family, or you could attain something you wanted to do, or develop a skill. But the same thing, the tower will will only handle the amount of energy you put through it. And how many times have we seen that? Howard Hughes being a classic example of this. Oscar Wilde, the tower. The human being cannot, be take on this Promethean no not in status, and be take from the gods and believing that they are the gods, because we are mortal beings, and that's basically it. Now, another way to bring your tower down is also to believe you have some kind of a special ability as something like a channeler. You think you're channeling beings and stuff, or channeling angels. Firstly, angels don't communicate with humans. They just don't. Why would they? It'd be like us consulting an insect. And also they study us. They might, steward us in the same way humans steward the honeybee in order to procure honey, but ultimately we're nothing. What you get in channeling is demons and lower level entities telling you what they want, what you want to hear. And that's also, you will also see those people all psychically break down as well. So that's the tarot card. I hope you're having a lovely 2020. That's weird to even say that. I'm very busy doing life things, but I'm having a great time. And look after yourselves. I'm going to be making a video later today or tomorrow on my Beyond Room 313 channel on the movie The Witch. I should have done it before The Lighthouse came out, which I've already done on that channel, but I want to do one on The Witch because looking at the two films together, you can see that The Witch is not only vastly superior, but there's more lessons in that for us, and it really is phenomenal. So look after yourselves, take care of yourselves, and be good to yourselves. Take care.